Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about this device here, the lovely PlayStation Portal. I'm not going to give it a review. You should know if you want one or not, or if you need one, if it's suitable for you, your Wi-Fi, yada yada. Everyone's spoken about that. I just want to talk about literally the ergonomics of the device, the weight in hand, the comfort in hands, buttons and controls, the speakers, and the whole screen itself. Basically, I'm going to be comparing this to their previous handhelds, even though this is just basically a streaming device. But I want to see how it compares to their previous efforts of the PlayStation Portable, the PSP, the PlayStation Vita, and how this Portal stacks up compared to them. Okay, so let's get to going, shall we? So, first things first, the ergonomics and weight. It looks weird, I'll give it that, but in the hand, you have easy access to the thumbsticks, the D-pad, the sacred symbol buttons, your PlayStation button, options button, and your share button. You also have easy access to the R buttons here, sorry, the L1 and L2, R1 and R2 there. The volume buttons, up and down, your power, and this is connected to the proprietary headphones, wireless headphones. You do have a headphone jack there for your old school wired headphone jack, and then obviously to charge USB-C. I believe that's, I wonder if that's a mic, I'm not too sure what that is. You can see it there, yeah. So, like I said, ergonomically, perfectly fine. You have to learn about the muscle memory. It's what you're going to need for the volume. But realistically, the on button, you're going to know where that is. And you probably would put it down before you're going to use it. But yeah, everything lights up at the side. D-pad's easy to use. So is the analog stick. You press the screen if you want to use the touchpad. So yeah, ergonomically it's fine. Weight, to be honest, it's very light. It's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to say it's only a little bit heavier than a Nintendo Switch, if you've ever held one of those. Realistically, just a bit heavier, that's all. But yeah, weight, you're not going to have any type of cramp or anything like that. That's going to be fine. What else is there? Obviously, that all ergonomics also goes with comfort in hand. Because it's basically a dual sense, the hand grips, there's going to be no cramp here. I've used this until the battery went dead. I didn't realize how long I was playing. I was playing Assassin's Creed. What's my hours on that so far? 33 hours. I actually like this Assassin's Creed game. I'm not normally an Assassin's Creed fan, but this may be the second one I ever complete after the original on the PS3. Played Black Flag. I think Assassin's Creed 2 I played. Black Flag and Assassin's Creed 2 I probably put a total of 4 hours in it, and that's it. But this one here, I like this one. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Well, I'm getting off topic. So comfort in hand is really good. The buttons, once again, there's no difference compared. Let me hold this up. There's no difference in the buttons compared to an actual DualSense controller. They feel just the same. The travel is just as good. See there. So the haptics are fine, just like on the PS5 itself. You can have them a standard, weaker or weakest, something like that. It says anyway. So you can tailor it to how you want. The D-pad is really nice. It's a great D-pad. You see decent travel on it. Focus. Good D-pad there. The sticks themselves, they're a little bit smaller than what you're used to. Good grip on it, but they are smaller. And just to show that off, here is this. Wait, I've got caps on these. Hold on, just a second. Wrong one. My bad. Let's use a dual sense edge. I'm not going to talk about this stuff here because that doesn't have it. But the stick itself, oops. Don't know if you can see here. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, but especially with one hand. Right, that. Oh, this is awkward. The sticks there are actually a little bit smaller. Not by much, but enough. They are a bit smaller. I don't know if that's the better way to do it. Yeah, but in the big scheme of things, they feel fine. They feel absolutely fine. So, the screen obviously is a nice big screen. Fine, it's was it an LCD, LED, whatever, 1080p screen. Speakers are fine as well, nice and loud. I don't want to put speakers on in this video because hearing sound in a YouTube video is what it is. But yeah, so that is the Portal as it stands. And now I want to look at it compared to PlayStation's other efforts that came before it. Right, this is a PSP 1000. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn. Well, it does turn on, but nothing happens anymore. I don't actually use it, so that's not a biggie. But right, obviously, this was very portable. That you're gonna need a bag with. If you do take it out of the house, that's not how I use it. But anyway, ergonomics, very, very handy. No thumb cramp there. You might get a little bit of cramp trying to use this analog nub. There, the weight, for the size of it, it's actually quite a bit heavy. Especially in comparison to the Portal there. It's a bit of a chunky beast, the 1000. Come on. A little bit of a chunky beast. But comfort in hand is nice, especially if using the D-pad. Sure, the buttons are okay as well. Right, let's do some button checks. Nice travel on the buttons. I find they're a nice size. When you look at the PSP as a whole, decent sized buttons on there. And good travel on them. D-pad. Good travel again. There's a good D-pad. Analog nub. It was what it was. It's not the best thing in the world. I'd say average, but he did the job. Home button, the volume buttons, your sound profile, and what was, I think that was to plug into a TV, I think. I can't remember what that button did. Focus. Here we go. And you start. Jesus Christ. Your start and your select buttons were fine. A little bit small. To be honest, the buttons down here were quite fiddly. These buttons here. But you didn't have to touch them too much. Apart from the home button. So that was the 1000. As you can see, size-wise, big difference. But when it comes to playability, more importantly, if you look at the buttons, they weren't skimping and scraping on this device for buttons. You weren't missing those buttons. And the D-pad, look at that. It's almost a full-size D-pad. This was an excellent first try. Okay, let's look at something a little bit, a slight difference now, a slight difference. Okay, this is my PSP 3000. It's still working, just working, very noisy. It's probably gonna die within the next year or so. I use this constantly. I used to break it out once a year up until realistically the last 18 months just to play Ridge Racer 2, but now that that's on the PS5 I don't need to. And literally used to break it out for Shadow Dancer as well. That was the only reason I used to really play this game for 2 games. I mean, play this system for 2 games. Anyway, once again, obviously very portable, nowhere near as chunky as the 1000 series. The buttons are still good, still a good size compared to the Portal. Good travel. Good feedback in those buttons. A really nice D-pad. Oh, focus. Hold on. There we go. Good travel in those buttons. I mean the D-pad. Good travel there. Analog nub. It didn't improve, unfortunately. Literally just the same. Didn't improve. The PlayStation button and everything else at the bottom here, they improved. They were easier to hit. They felt better to press, and they gave you much more tactile feedback as well. So they weren't as shallow. The shoulder buttons, clicky and nice. Good size screen. It was better saturation. And you got less ghosting as well. Far less ghosting compared to the 1000 series. Speakers were nice. Still tinny, but they were nice. Yeah. Overall, to me, this was a great first series of attempts from Sony compared to what they started off with and where they are now. Very good. Right, let's look at what PlayStation did next. Okay, this here is the PlayStation Vita or PS Vita. This was Sony's second and realistically last full-on handheld, which you could play games natively rather than having a streaming device here. So let's compare it to the Portable, shall we? It's very, very hand friendly. The weight is very well balanced. Ergonomically, you can hit the shoulder buttons. The analog sticks do not click in, but they are very good. I didn't find them, I didn't have cramp with this machine or anything like that. I just found them very good. The buttons, just focusing on here. Yeah, they're a bit shallow. The feedback isn't the greatest here. Yeah, and to be honest, they're a bit too small. Very cramped. For the size of the, if you look at the overall machine, the buttons are cramped. Unlike on the Portal. Very small, piddly and cramped. Hell, if you think I'm messing about, let's look at the PSP. See? Much more space for bigger hands. And the buttons are bigger on the PSP. So yeah, I didn't like that. The D-pad, once again, shallow. Not good feedback. Very small and cramped. My thumb can then cover all of it. Unlike the Portal, which is a full size, wonderful D-pad. So this is the OLED Vita. Other buttons, the PlayStation home button, or the PlayStation button I should say, that takes you home. Extremely shallow. Can I even look at that? Really shallow. Barely enough if you're pressing it, you have to really look for it. And the select and start buttons, just the same. They're so flush. So yeah. Ergonomically, to me, even though overall it's a better handheld than the PSP, ergonomically it's just worse. This particular variant. People say, oh, you're big on OLED screen. Sorry. Yeah, is it AMOLED? An AMOLED screen. Well, no, it's OLED screen. When you took it outside, couldn't see it. I don't know what nits this thing is. It's probably, I don't know, 100 nits or something. But I actually was one of the people that used to take the Vita on my train trips, on my commute to work. And even though this is England and you're thinking, oh, it's never sunny anyway, but even outside this in daylight, you couldn't see the screen if the game had a dark background or the game was, I don't know, it was in a forest or it was at night or whatever. Unless it was literally a white background, you couldn't see it. So yeah, that's the first iteration of this. Let's look to see if they can improve it. Okay, so now we have the PS Vita Slim or Lite, depending on what you want to call it. I've heard people call it Lite these days. I'm thinking, I thought that was a Nintendo thing. But anyway, I called it the Slim. Very curved. Lots of curves here. From the shape, even these corners here, look at that. Everything about this just screams portability. Look, that's realistic. These are the only, like the only hard edges you see. Corners of the screen. Ergonomically, it's probably perfect. You have access to all the buttons. Volume, focus, power. The PlayStation home button is better. The start and select are not flush anymore. You can actually feel them and they give you a tactile response. The analog sticks, they're still just as good. They don't push in, unfortunately don't click. So no L3 and R3. the sacred single buttons. They're still small, a little bit annoying, but they give you a better tactile feedback. This is a Japanese variant, so pressing X is cancel. If I press circle, that will start up the game. The D-pad also got a buff, shall we say, much more tactile. Feels much better, but it's still way too small. Once again, for the overall size of the device, for example, compared to the 3000, the buttons are just bigger on the 3000. The D-pad is bigger on the 3000. And it's a proper split D-pad, unlike this, which is more just a molded bit of hunk of plastic. So yeah. Whereas, once again, the Portal, there's no compromises here because it is a DualSense controller. Everything else on your DualSense controller is here. Everything. So yeah. That is the PS Portal, PS Vita, and the PlayStation Portable all together. We can see where Sony had almost the perfect start. Fluffed it a little bit here. R2 and L2, where are they? They weren't here. Okay, we can give you a squeeze, maybe. But here, there was no excuse. There was no excuse. Here, just as a product, ergonomically, control, speaker, screen, this is excellent. But it's just a streaming device. So take that as what you will. Some people might, it's a rubbish hunk of plastic. Why did I even bother making it? Waste of space and time. Other people are like, this is just what I needed. It is what I want. Hey, you do you. I'm not here to make that decision for you. I'm just showing you the comparisons from where Sony came from and where they ended up. Hopefully you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down, or don't even watch it. Who cares? If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, you don't. Do you? I do like that though. Personally, my favorite handheld ever is this wonderful machine here. God, I love this device. Beautiful. What a device. And now, I use this a lot. A flawed... There's too many flaws. Some games I just couldn't play like my 2D beat 'em ups because of this goddamn D-pad and the tiny ass buttons. But for everything else, I love this machine. Alrighty, cheers, and I'm out. Peace.